Hi everyone, welcome to Draw and Chat number 2. Thanks to everybody for the comments and the support on the first Draw and Chat. I think I may keep that name, it's quite snappy. It went down really well, and I was quite surprised because I was a little bit drowsy when I recorded the first one, and I almost sent myself to sleep with the sound of my own voice, and I actually put it on to play when I'm having trouble sleeping, and it seems to work quite well. So, what am I doing right now? We're actually, if you're on Twitter, you'll know that we might be moving house fairly soon. We were supposed to be moving house next year. We were tentatively looking to see what was about and available, and we found this house that we fell in love with, so decided to go ahead. So, fingers crossed. Our house is currently on the market and we've got some interest, so we'll see where that goes. So really this is kind of the first chance I've had to do any drawing for, like, I don't know, since the last video maybe even, because I haven't done any sketch cards since then. And to be honest, this is going to be my little moment of escape from the stress. We've moved house before, but we've been in this house for like 13 years, so there's a lot of stuff to sort out. So yeah, this is just going to be that chill out time, and this piece that here is it's a bit of a complicated one because it's actually a commission that I'm about to start, but I need to make sure that the recipients don't see it ahead of time because it's a surprise, so hence this sort of blocked out area on the side here. I also want to thank more people, because in the first video I did a really crap job of remembering. I just had like a mind melting moment, and I just couldn't remember who I was supposed to thank, so I've actually just to the side written a little list of people to mention and to thank. So yeah, I mean there's so many fellow creative people that it's interesting, because just speaking to people online, you get a sense of there being a lot of people who want to break into going full-time with their creative hobbies, and it's what I want to do ultimately. When it will happen I don't know, but so it's kind of a real sort of support group and a community when there are like-minded people in a sort of very similar situation, and you can kind of bounce ideas off each other and collaborate with them. I know there's a lot of people on Twitter who like to do sort of collaborations, and there's the Sketch Fuel guys. They've got a Tumblr page, and they're just, they come up with themes and they all draw something to fit the theme and upload it, and it's really cool to see that sort of thing going on. And recently there's a guy called Andy Fairhurst. He's over in Wales, so he's in the UK, and I can't remember how I found Andy, to be honest. I think it must have been through DeviantArt, where I find so many people, and just recently he's been doing some absolutely knockout work. Just in the last couple of days he released a Star Wars triptych that he's done focusing on the original trilogy, and he's done this series recently where it's kind of a top-down view of something. So he did a Jaws one, and it was the orca from sort of almost like a bird's eye view, and you just got it chugging along, and you've got chumming the water, and then you've just got this huge silhouette of a shark coming in, and you just know the moment of the film that it comes from. So it's brilliant. He just captures these moments. He also did a Godzilla one recently for the new Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie, and I'm pretty sure that one was on the wall at the premiere. I might be wrong. I'm sure Andy will let me know. But it was part of like a big poster posse. There's Poster Posse and Blurpy and these sort of collectives that sort of get all these artists together and get them bouncing off each other, and not literally, but but I mean my favourite of Andy's sort of bird's eye view ones lately has been his Rocky IV piece. I mean, I freaking love Rocky IV. I'll be honest, I hadn't really seen all the Rocky films until maybe 10 years ago, but I saw Rocky IV where he faces Drago, and it's just got to be my favourite. And he did this top-down view of the bit where Rocky is going out into the snow, and he's being kind of followed, chaperoned by the Russian guys, and he just tries to shake them off. So he runs out into like the snowdrifts, and their car gets stuck, and he just runs off into this. I just love it, and there's this subtle, in the snowdrifts you've got the shape of Rocky's face facing off against Drago, and really cool stuff. Most of these, I'll be putting links in the comments to this stuff. I mean, you've got to see it. It's brilliant. And Andy's one of those. He's really humble about it all, and he kind of just posts these things on Facebook, and it's like, man, that's freaking amazing. And he's just like, yeah, so here's a poster I did, and it's brilliant. And again, it's a brilliant source of inspiration. Just a regular guy doing what he loves, and the end result is just awesome. So yeah, check out Andy's work. There's loads of people on Twitter that I missed out last time, and I feel really bad. And if I miss anybody out this time, let me know, and I will try and mention you next time. But I've actually had to write a little list over to the side here. We've got Phil Payton, Lee Parry, Jess Kirby, Jenny Brown, Mandy Thelwell, Lisa Sprawling, Jenna Peebles, Ian Piddington, pause for breath, Kieran Beach, Stephen Weafer, Rob Wood, Sean Langley, Pete Raymond, Mike Jackson. The list goes on and on. But I thought I was a little bit remiss with Draw and Chat number 1. I didn't actually thank my wife, so I feel that I should. She puts up with with a lot of stuff, especially when I was doing the daily sketch cards earlier in the year. It was literally, we'd have a little chat in the car on the way home after work, and then the moment we get in, I'd just be sort of shutting myself away and beavering away on the latest sketch card. So she actually put up with a lot of not tantrums, but I've got to get my sketch card done for the day. I've got to get it done, or the world will end. That's kind of how it felt. And when I actually finished doing them, because I couldn't keep up with the schedule, the world didn't end. It just carried on, and I've been able to do a few here and there, and it just got me back into drawing, and that was the main reason for doing it. Just because I hadn't done much last year, so yeah, it just kick-started this revival, if you like, of me working on paper with pencil, which is my first love. I mean, I work with pencil a lot now. I've kind of shunned working digitally a little bit, because if you look on my Deviant art gallery, a lot of my digital work is kind of photorealism. Not quite reaching the photorealism, but I wanted to try and retain sort of a painted feel. But the majority of comments will be, man, this looks like a photo, and that's great, because I was kind of striving to achieve that. But at the same time, there were also, as I'm sure other digital artists will attest, you create something that looks so realistic, and instantly, if people don't understand how you've done it, they just don't believe that you have done it, and you have to be able to prove that you've done it. And so it's kind of one of the reasons I used to do my digital painting time-lapse videos, just to show the technique. And I've got a series of videos on YouTube of the Hellboy painting that I did, and also for the Hawk poster I did a few videos for that as well. And it just shows people the technique, and I mean, my most viewed piece on DeviantArt is a tutorial about skin texture and how to paint skin texture in digital painting. So there's obviously an appetite for knowledge, and I actually that's one of the things that I've loved about getting in touch with people online and having a gallery, and just that opportunity to display my stuff. It's just I'm just able to sort of pass that knowledge on, and that's what I love doing. When I started digital painting, I don't know, 2004, 2005, something like that. There was no real resource, not as widely available as there is today. I'm sure with a little bit of searching it could be found, but so I just, I got a free copy of Photoshop with a scanner that we bought with our first desktop PC, and just played around with it. And I did all the typical cliches, adding lens flares like there's no tomorrow, and that sort of thing. But then it sort of developed, my digital style just kind of developed into photorealism, and I almost got a little bit bored of it myself, and I didn't really know how to progress it. So I thought, well, maybe go back to doing some pencil. I kind of kept my hand in with working on paper, but I wasn't doing it enough. So I decided this year I would just go back to doing that, and that's all I've done this year pretty much. I get asked quite a lot what I do for what my day job is. I mentioned in the first video that I work on a computer all day. I can't really go into too much detail. it's not a if I tell you I'd have to kill you situation, but it's all sort of confidential work, and it involves examinations, and I basically produce the diagrams that you see in a lot of exam papers. So, cross section of a leaf or a cell, or maps in geography papers. And so basically the work that I do in my day job is hated by children worldwide, which is a great feeling. Thankfully it's all anonymous, so my name isn't attached, I don't get hate mail, but that's basically it. I mean, it's creative in a way. There's a lot of rules that you have to follow, and but it's still, you're still able to sort of inject a little bit of personality into stuff and modernize things a little bit, because when I first started, there was sort of quite an old-fashioned kind of tradition in there, and we've kind of tried to modernize it a little bit. But yeah, so the work I do for my day job is seen by hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. They just don't know it's me, and to be honest, that's probably a good thing. So with this one now, I'm just starting off. This is how I work through these grayscale pencil drawings on the grey paper. I've got the outline laid out ready, so I just start going in with the white pencil. I found out quite quickly that it was easier to start off with the white and then work with the darker grey, the graphite on top afterwards, rather than the other way around. I think when I first started doing the sketch cards, I struggled a little bit to get the balance right, and I was putting too much grey on top of white, and it was just getting a bit muddy and not really how I wanted it to look. So I found out that by doing the white first, you can then go in and add I tend to go with a HB next to put sort of the first layer of tone in there, and then after the HB going in with a 3B, and then perhaps going in with the white pen to add the highlights, and then finishing it off with maybe a 6B, something like that. And it's a technique that works, and I'm happy with the results. So, and this is a commission that I'm doing, so it's obviously a style that people enjoy, which is really good. And the auctions for the sketch cards that I've been doing, they go down really well. I mean, the last batch that I did ended I think it was a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. At the start of the year, because I was doing one every day, the auction at the end of January was, it was 30 sketch cards all up on eBay. It was a bit of a nightmare to keep track of, and so I started spreadsheets, keeping everyone's details and just making sure everything was recorded, so I knew what was going where. And I did sort of 2 of those big scale, one for every day of the month. But the last one, because I hadn't been doing one every day, I think there was about 9 or maybe 10. So it was actually quite a nice little auction. But because I'd chosen subjects that were going to be more popular, and people had requested, do some more Star Wars, or do an Indiana Jones one, so I did, and they went down surprisingly well. And it's still all raising money in aid of kidney research. I mentioned that charity last time as well. Last year, my mum and I, we had our heads shaved in aid of kidney research in the summer, it was actually really good. It's one of those things, I don't know if I'd ever really thought about doing it, but once I'd done it, I was like, okay, this is a bit weird, and it took a bit of time to get used to it, but then it was quite exhilarating, getting up in the morning, don't have to wash my hair, because I have quite, spiky hair. If I didn't wash it every day, or put any sort of product in it, any sort of, wax to keep it upright, I would probably look like I did when I was about 7. It's just like a standard bowl haircut, I guess, just not cut with a bowl anymore, thankfully. So yeah, the head shave went down really well, and my mum loved it, and it was brilliant. And because it was a nice hot summer, so it just helped release some of that extra heat that I was carrying around. So yeah, that was last year. So this year it's the sketch cards, and when the Nottingham Comic Con, formerly known as Nerdfest, happens in October the 4th. Get your tickets, the link is in the comments below. When Nottingham Comic Con happens, last year I had one piece that was 100% going to charity, and then 50% of whatever I made on the day was going to kidney research. So I'm probably going to do the same thing again this year, because it's just my way of giving back a little bit. Thankfully I've got my full-time job, so I'm not relying on this work to make a living. It's something that I'd love to do, and seeing, I mentioned Jeff Lafferty last video. He's in a great situation where he's, well, great for us because it means he's producing lots more work. But he quit his job to do commissions and freelance work full time, and from what I've seen so far, it seems to be working out really well for him. And he's just banging out so much amazing work, and it's all going on eBay, and he's doing little sketches and the bigger commissions, and he's doing a Wolverine piece at the moment, which is coming out amazingly well. I haven't had a chance to see the latest update on that, but yeah, it's all such great stuff. So yeah, Nottingham Comic Con, that's happening in October, and like I say, I'll be donating some money towards kidney research from that. It's quite exciting actually. Last year I really wasn't sure if I should do it, and I booked a table 6 months in advance and then just crapped my pants for 6 months, pretty much until they opened the door and people came in. And then I just sort of went into this weird sort of verbal diarrhea overdrive and just couldn't stop talking for the 5 hours that the event was on for. This year it's on for a couple of hours longer, so I better sort of start conserving some energy. Another question I guess I get asked quite a lot is, do I have any art training? And it's kind of an interesting one, because I did GCSE art and did pretty well with that, and then I decided to go on to college and do art as one of my A-levels. But that was around the time that I discovered cinema and movies, and I think I bought my first issue of Empire. It had Sylvester Stallone on the cover. I think Cliffhanger had just come out, and I freaking love Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger had just come out, so I think it must have been, it was like a December 1992 issue. A little bit sad that I can remember that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was December 92. And so I discovered media studies, and I did media studies, and I struggled to excel in all of my A-levels. So I got an A for media studies, which was brilliant. And then my A-level art suffered slightly, and I got a D grade. And then I did history and got a U. So I kind of covered the entire sort of educational spectrum, if you like. Really good, not so great, and just really, really bad. I don't know why I did history, to be honest. I think it was just to bump up the numbers. It was that or general studies, which used to be on a Wednesday afternoon. Unfortunately, that's the day when I used to go into town and go to the cinema and watch a movie. So, yeah, general studies really wasn't a strength either. But, telling you which films were on when at the Odeon in Birmingham on New Street, that was kind of my forte. And I spent a lot of time there. And it's good to go back there sometimes. From Birmingham originally, but now living in Cambridge. So yeah, I think I will leave it there for now. The time is going very quickly, and these videos take an age to upload to YouTube. So, in the interest of getting it online before the weekend, I will stop now, and hopefully see you for the next Draw and Chat. See you later.